It shouldn't have come down to Cynthia McKinney to initiate impeachment against this administration. But it did, and she, seeing no one else get off the dime, asked myself and Mike Zmalik on the staff to work on drafting articles. The bill that was introduced right at the end of the session doesn't have all of the ones that we worked on. You can go to allthingscynthiamckinney.com and find the ones that I'm talking about tonight as well. Our approach was to put the articles under three themes, and those themes we felt they might wiggle out of a particular aspect of what was being introduced, but those themes marked what really are high crimes or misdemeanors. Because what's meant by a high crime is essentially a crime, even if it's not on a regular statutory book. It's a crime committed by a person in a high enough position that it threatens the state and it threatens the Constitution. In other words, that these people commit crimes that, in a sense, no one else is sitting in a position to commit. And so it's been used historically as a way to not have to constantly oust people. There's a long historical tradition going back into the years of the British of impeaching as a method of dealing with, maybe not removing the king, but at least removing those under him. And since we don't yet fully have a king, we can take the president too. So Article 3 of the Constitution lays out one of these themes, which is that the president shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed. The other two come from the oath of office. Under taking care that the laws be faithfully executed, we included illegal domestic spying, self-exemption from laws through the signing statements, suspension of basic legal proceedings, suspension of particular rights like mass arrests and other things, and habeas corpus, promoting illegal war, promoting illegal torture, and promoting kidnappings and renditions for illegal torture. Also, the use of certain illegal weapons that violate treaties that are standing law once they're ratified by the Senate. And those included the use of such weapons as landmines, cluster bombs, depleted uranium munitions, napalm, white phosphorus, and the BLU 82B, which is or C-130, called daisy cutter bombs. The second theme was that the presidential oath of office, when he takes the oath, the president swears to faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States. And the abuse of office and executive privilege we addressed by talking about obstructing inquiry and detection, effective oversight, replacing the veto with the signing statements, with a failure to uphold accountability, and specifically under that, we mentioned Richard Cheney, the Vice President, and Condoleezza Rice, the Secretary of State, and Donald Rumsfeld, the Secretary of Defense. The third theme, which was the second part of the oath, to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, we felt was violated by manipulating intelligence and lying to justify war, initiating war without a congressional declaration, which goes against the War Powers Act and the Constitution, suspension of due process, unreasonable search and seizure, the FISA courts corrupting their role, non-cooperation with Congress, and the establishment of an unconstitutional and parallel legal system, and generally an arrogation of power to the executive against the wishes of the Congress. Now, of course, as time goes on, we could add to this list. Today, we could add the new revelation about abuses of the national security letters by the FBI for illegal searches. With the conviction of Libby, we might take that further into an indictment that involves Cheney. And there are several books out. This is one of them, one by a former federal prosecutor, Elizabeth De La Vega, that outlined these kinds of charges. We tried not to do a kitchen sink approach. We tried to be very careful in what we felt had the best evidence. Dennis Kucinich, recently on the floor of Congress, said that if Bush enters into war with Iran without congressional approval, that he and others in Congress would move for impeachment. But I think the point is, you know, and McGovern and others have been saying that Cheney has to go. He's worse than Nixon. Even Chuck Hagel was saying that we might see an impeachment, and there's definitely a grassroots movement that other folks here are involved with. But it's a system, and it doesn't respond just because you have it right on paper. And even if you did impeach all of these people in this current administration, it doesn't solve the constitutional and democratic crisis that we're in. But I think that it's a method that we should push Congress to use. It's a time-honored method. It should be used for something more than it was used for to attempt to take President Clinton out. It should be used for real crimes against the state and against the Constitution. And I think we have a plethora of those in this administration, and just scratching the surface. But I think unless we use at least the tools of democracy we have, we can't claim to be a functioning democracy any longer.